Everybody wants to know when power's going to be back, when water's going to be back, when everything's going to be back to normal.
When am I going to be back?
Yeah, exactly. And I think one of the things that we do is once things begin to progress and relief is happening and the shock of the trauma wears off, we tend to think, oh, well, we ought to be over that by now.
Right.
And what I think we need to be very conscious of is that this could have effects not just now but in the future. So can you speak to that a little bit about
I think that we have to be okay with the fact that it's never going to be the same. It's never going to be the same.
Right.
Certain areas of our world are not going to be the same.
Yeah.
Physically or even on an emotional level. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be joy moving forward, but it's just not going to be the same. So if we have that mindset, like I've just got to get back to how it was, I've just got to recover fully, I've got to get back to normal, that's not going to help you as much because it's going to be different. You're always going to be different after a traumatic event, after a large event like this. I will say there are some things that you want to think about. You don't want to watch too much footage. You just don't. It's just not helpful to watch the floods take a house or something that re-traumatizes you. And unfortunately, there's a lot of images around.
Yeah.
People are posting them or you see them on television or something. Try to avoid those. They told us that with 9/11. Don't rewatch it. And every time 9/11 comes around, don't rewatch it. It doesn't. There's nothing really beneficial for you on an emotional level to do that. Yes, we need to remember experiences and pray for people and honor people. But it doesn't help us to re-traumatize
You're
ourselves.
not going to forget. Those of you who walked through that trauma of 9/11, those of us who've walked through the trauma of Helene, we are not going to forget.
Right. Yes, you're not going to forget.
We don't need to be re-triggered.
You don't need to watch it to remind yourself of it. It's kind of in your body. But
I want to ask a little bit of an aside here, but I've talked to a couple of people who have said, I just want to completely start over. Is that a good way to progress, or is
I wonder what exactly they mean. What I would do if that person was saying that to me is I would say, okay, tell me more about that. What does that mean to you to start over? To start over in what way? To start over cleaning your house, or to start over with your life, or to start over, move somewhere? I would want to know more of what that means. That does sound to me like it's somebody who wants to go back to the way it was.
And
like
a normal,
like go
existence.
back to the normal, like how it used to be. So it's almost like a death. The person's not with us. Hopefully, they're in heaven. So it's not. You can't go back to before they went to heaven. It doesn't take away the time that you had with them and then hopefully eternity with them, but you can't go back before these events and have them not happen.
Right.
So I would question the mindset of I want to begin again or start over or want it to be back to normal. Just question what that means. It's okay to feel that. All of our feelings are okay. And God had feelings. We've talked about this on other podcasts, that it's okay to feel.
Yeah.
You don't have to avoid your feelings. We renew our mind and we experience our feelings. So you experience that feeling and then you renew your mind with God's truth. Those two things can happen at the same time, but you don't renew your feelings because you have to experience them. A friend reminded me to write down your victories.
Oh, that's good.
Write down your victories. No victory is too small to claim as a victory. And it'll help you thank God. Because once we start getting back into the seeing God work, that can really change the landscape of our minds.
I will never forget my first hot meal after Helene.
What was it?
It was wings from Domino's.
Domino's wings.
That was the first hot meal that I had after the storm. And we couldn't, where we live, we couldn't, everybody, the grocery stores all were cash only.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen cash since like the 80s or something, And so I just had the cart, and Domino's would take a card and deliver to us. And I was like, we're getting Domino's. And I got wings. And I don't know if I was just hungry for something hot, but I was like, the fact that I was able to get a hot meal, you know, that was huge. And I didn't even realize that was a big deal because, you know, we were hearing about people who didn't have food. So I wasn't going to complain about that at all. But I do remember like being aware in that moment of, I have warm food to eat. Now there's 100 different, please don't email me, because there was 100 different places that were providing relief and I could have gone for a hot meal, but I hadn't lost anything per se. So I didn't feel right going to those places to ask for help because I felt so blessed. And so that was like a marker that I wrote in my journal about that.
Yeah.
Like I never thought I would like think that wings from Domino's was the greatest thing since sliced bread, but today it was because that was the first.
What if that's our new normal?
Yeah.
What if that's our new normal? Is wow, thank you for this meal, or thank you for this little victory, or thank you for this good thing. That can be our new normal.
Yeah.
Our tendency is for that to sort of be that way for a minute or two, and then to kind of take things for granted again. But it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
We can make the choice. To hold on to those moments.
You know, and I love gratitude. I love the idea of gratitude.